All right, that was the end of the 2-minute grace period that I granted. So I'm going to say good morning and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm going to mute you all. We'll have time afterwards if you all want to chat with each other. And so I'm going to make that box go away. Box go away. There we go. How are we? Thumbs up. Oops, there's another person. Okay. We're going to start seated. I'm going to try to get into my position so you can see me. I think you're best served putting me on speaker view, and I'm going to keep you guys on gallery view so I can stay connected with what you're doing, because sometimes the words that come out of my mouth don't resonate, and I see that visually sometimes. We need to have our props nearby, so today we're going to use a blanket, a block, a bolster, or something bolster-esque. And if you have furniture nearby, you can grab cushions or pillows off of there. Maybe an extra blanket. So the structure today will be a nice meditation to get us here, and then we'll do a nice moderate flow. Nothing too much and nothing too little. It's kind of straight down the middle. And then we'll do a restorative practice to get ourselves open to grace and rested for the rest of the day. I'm recording this class, so if we have any technical glitches, we will have a smooth recording, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube for free. So if you have someone who wanted to come today and couldn't come because of timing, they can go to YouTube later today, and it should be up there. My husband's going to be watching the Washington-Dallas game, so it'll probably get processed during that time and put up onto the YouTube channel. Sometimes the Zoom freezes in my neighborhood, especially if it's been raining. So my plan is we'll just keep going, and it usually unfreezes. It's just intermittent skips like a belch, and it's over and done with. So we have a playlist that you'll need to be playing on a separate device, and as Linda was asking earlier, I'm going to tell you when to hit play on that, but for now we'll have a little bit of silence. And I'm inviting you to have a seat in a comfortable way that lets your pelvis be nice and settled and peaceful. Maybe the flesh back behind the sit bones a little bit. And get your hips up a little bit higher than your knees so your hips have a chance to arrive in a peaceful way today. And then hunker in. Feel your legs in contact with the floor. You can sit any way that feels good. You can even sit on a chair if that's available for you. And then just take a nice lift of your sternum and feel your spine just elongating gently, nothing too rigid. Drop your shoulders back and slide your hands back to your thighs, palms down. And then level your chin with the floor and take your gaze out forward in front of you. Let your jaw soften, let your face soften. And as your body softens, start to notice your body. Feel where you feel like you're maybe a little tight or maybe a little too loose, and start to gather all of that in so you feel like you're cohesively relaxed here. And then turn your awareness to your breath and feel it, maybe in the temperature and the texture of your breath in the rings of your nostrils. You don't have to change your breath, just notice it. Now, I've been meditating with my eyes open, and that's a style I've become accustomed to, but if you're more comfortable closing your eyes, I'm inviting you to do what makes you comfortable for a few moments as we arrive here. Today, we're gathering grace, and grace is a blessing or a way to give thanks, but it's also a quality or a state of being considerate and thoughtful, and I think it's nice to have consideration and thought before we sit down to a Thanksgiving meal with our friends and family, whether they're in person or on Zoom. I don't know if you guys do this. I think a lot of people do this, but we go around the table and we give thanks for something as we go around the table. And usually the eyes roll when they get to me because mine goes a little deeper than the guys in my family, but I think today I'm expressing my grace in the playlist today. It is a story that I've woven together of things that I've been feeling this year that I am grateful for. And not all of them were the rosy things that happened this year. There were some things that were tough. So as we practice today, I invite you to gather your grace. And one of the ways we can do that is with a blessing from John O'Donohue. May you awaken to the mystery of being here and the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. May you receive great encouragement when new frontiers beckon. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May the flame of anger free you from falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame, and may anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. May you take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. May you be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Let's take 2 minutes and just sit in silence with that. Deepen your breath. Bat your eyes open if they've been closed. Wiggle your fingers. Get them ready because we're going to start our playlist. So we'll make our way onto our mats if we're not quite there. And the playlist will start with Wish You Were Here. And we'll meet on our mats and have a comfortable seat. I'm going to sit facing you. And if you're resetting, reset your sitting bones. Re-lengthen your spine, and then re-find your breath. Bring it into the back of your throat. Wash it with a little ujjayi. On your next inhale, reach out and reach up and feel the space that you're in. Bring your palms together, gathering all your grace and bringing it right down into your heart. Do that again. Inhale, gather more. Gather the experience of 2020 and bring it down into your heart, all of it. One more time. Inhale, reaching up and pulling it all down and in. Let's drop the left hand down to our lap. We'll leave the palm up, receiving what's here. And we'll take the right arm out and we'll stretch it back. And we'll bring it forward and just kind of feel the movement of the shoulder. Make it small at first. And then ease into deeper boundaries, I guess. Don't cross any boundaries that feel risky. We're keeping this moderate and easy. Open it up. And then stretch your arm out like somebody's holding your hand and reaching it out gently. And then turn your thumb down and then turn your thumb up. Turn it down and turn it up. Keep lengthening it. Feel the mechanism of your shoulder there. They say that the right side of your body is the logical side of your body. So we're kind of reaching into all the logic we've had to apply to life this year in an unlogical year. Let's bring the palm up and then bring the hand up over your head. And bend the elbow and drop the hand down. Lean your head back into your arms so you're getting a nice stretch in the tricep. Leaning into all the logical responsibilities we had to carry through this weird year. Slide your hand to the back of your head so you're kind of cupping your head in your palm. Press your head into your hand and your hand into your head. Not aggressively, not too ambitiously, but kindly. And then inhale, open a little bit with your elbow. And as you exhale, take that elbow toward your left palm. Inhale, open it up like a wing, bring it back up. And then exhale, bring it down, aiming it toward your palm. It doesn't have to touch. Inhale, open up, sit up. And then exhale, bring the elbow down. Inhale, sit back up, reach the arm up. And then slowly wilt that arm down onto your lap and then let all of that responsibility just drain out, all that tension from that. Start that on the other side. This is our emotional side. So open yourself up to a small swath of what you've experienced this year emotionally. Open with the breath and then taking the arm across to the exhale. One more time, lengthening it out, and then a gentle hand drawing you over to the left. Try to stay tall in your spine, and then turning the thumb down, and then turning the thumb up. Feel yourself working into that big pocket of emotional responsibility that we had. Maybe we had to have a stiff upper lip and get through a lot of things. I know I had to put my big girl panties on. I even gave myself a trophy for adulting this year. I put it on my desk so I could see it. One more time. Inhale, open your palm, and then reach up. Bend that elbow, drop the hand down behind you. It doesn't matter where it goes, but just lean your head gently back into the arm, opening up your tricep, opening up the armpit in that area. Nice deep breath. I love it when we open our armpits and we get applause. Now slide your hand to the back of your head and then lovingly hold your skull and your hand at the same time. On your inhale, open a little bit to the left, and on your exhale, steer your left elbow toward your right palm. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale. Inhale, open. And exhale, crossing over. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open. And then stretch your arm up. And then lay it down and let all that emotional baggage go from that side of the body. Take your hands up like you're holding the biggest gravy boat ever. And then turn on your exhale toward your right and put your fingers down. Keep your arms in line with your shoulders. Little soft fingertips. Inhale, lengthening up. And then exhale, turn your shoulders, keeping the collarbones broad. Turn your face. Breathe here in this twist. Go for height. Don't lean into this. Deep breath. Inhale, pick up your gravy boat. Ooh, it got bigger. Exhale, take it forward. Inhale, take your arms up One big stretch here, and then bring your hands down. Pick up your enormous gravy boat, and on your exhale, turn to the left. And then feeling where your shoulders are, extend your fingers out and touch the ground lightly. Press down to lift up. And then exhale, turn the shoulders, the collarbones, turn the face. Deep breath. One more deep breath in, and then pick up your enormous gravy boat and come back to center. Put that down, and let's take our legs forward. Move the flesh back behind you. And I'm starting my feet about 2 fist widths apart, so I'm kind of in the groove of my skeleton. Lean back and cross your right ankle over your left, and then squeeze your thighs together. And then sit up, move the flesh back behind your sit bone. Sweep your hands forward and then lift your sternum. Tighten your shoelaces of the legs here. And exhale, chin to the chest. Come forward. Now, see if you can keep lengthening through the top of your head and resist the urge to round, but keep lengthening. Only go as far forward as you can lengthen with the long lever of the upper back. Spine. Nice deep breath, squeeze. Inhale, come on up, and then release that. Put your feet back at 2 fist widths apart, and then taking the left ankle over the right. Get the squeeze going there. Move the flesh if we've jostled a little bit. Come forward, and then lengthen up. This is like an elevator, lifting up this sternal notch, and then hinging forward. Coming into the feel-good of your legs being stretched, and your back being stretched, and your heart being open. Deep breath, get the breath moving. Inhale, come on up, and exhale. Let's bring the knees in and shift onto all fours. Now, you might put a blanket underneath your knees. I think I'm okay right now, but anytime you need extra padding, you take it, because we're practicing gratitude and consideration today. A little bit of cat-cow with the toes tucked. Initiate the movement from your sit bones as you lift the tailbone and the sit bones and lift your heart. As you exhale, initiate from the tail, dropping it down, chin to chest, squeezing. Stretch out of the back, and then inhale, open up. See if your shoulders and your sit bones can kind of run toward each other here in a gentle way. Exhale, in a Hallmark movie kind of way. Inhale, open, and exhale, round. Find the interesting places and wiggle into them. Everybody's going to be a little bit different, so find that map of your back and front bodies and lean into them. And if your heart has been guarded, take your shoulders back on the inhale. Open it up little by little each time we come through. One more time. Round, reach into the spine, and then open your heart as you drop your belly down. And come back into neutral, somewhere in between. Let's take the right foot back, and tucking your toes under, find equanimity across all the knuckles of your toes, or the joints of your toes, and then lean your heel directly back. Starting the stretch at your Achilles tendon, moving up to your calf, through the back of your knee, and into your thigh. Breathe into the goodness of that. Nothing too much, and nothing too little. Bathing your throat in ujjayi. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Slide your right foot over to the left side off of your mat. And then start that again. Leaning back through the heel. Feeling pretty equitable across all the joints of the toes. And then soften your elbows and steer your shoulders over to the left. Open the gap between your ribs and your pelvis and breathe into that. Nice deep breath. And then come back to center and feel that, retreating, big stretch there. Now the left leg goes back. Start by just placing the foot, feeling yourself, put the foot down there. Find the balance across all the joints of the toes. And then with the heel lifted, stretch it back, just lean through, like you're pushing through some really thick taffy in a gentle way. Deep breath. heel, Achilles, calf, knee, hamstrings. Feel it all. Shoulders over the wrists, and then gently shifting the left leg over to the right side. Start that again. Leaning back through your balanced foot, and then softening your elbows, steering to the right. Make some space between the ribs and the pelvis. Breathe there gently. Gathering anything that you find there into the grace that we're gathering today. All right, bring it back to center. Feel the return. Walk your knees back just slightly so we're not in a right angle. We're just slightly wider than that. And then tucking your toes, rise up into downward facing dog. First dog, keeping the heels lifted. Drop your head like a weight so you're influencing the length and space of your spine. Hands down to inform the hips moving up. And then slowly melt your heels down toward the floor. Again, feeling the heels, the Achilles tendon, the calves, the back of the knees, the back of the hamstrings. If you want to add a little seasoning to this, engage the front of your thighs and draw the front thighs in toward the hamstrings. And then if you want that kind of loveliness in your spine, bring your ribs in, gather them in toward the spine, and breathe into the space of your low back. On your next inhale, look up through your hands. Come into what I'm calling a half plank. So it's kind of, maybe it's a half-assed plank, but the shoulders are over the wrists and the butt's still high. And then exhale, ease back into downward facing dog. And then come back to that half. Now we're gradually going to bring this into a plank, but if you prefer not to go to the full plank, I totally understand finding the loveliness of this half plank. Deep breathing. Maybe on the next inhale, we try the plank and unfurl the gaze forward. Exhale, piking the hips back and up. Rolling forward, coming through. Exhale, piking back to dog. Last one, coming forward into plank for those who like a chaturanga. Up on the toes, bend the elbows. And then everybody, soften the legs to the floor for upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, draw back to downward facing dog. And then we'll take a meditation walk, 1 foot at a time, all the way to the top of the mat. Feel the placement of each foot. Feel the engagement of your core. Toes and fingers line up. Shins are vertical as we spill the heart forward. Inhale, hinge, and come all the way up. Big stretch. Exhale, gathering grace, bringing it back into the heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold and let go. Inhaling, halfway up, look forward, see the space you're in. Exhale, stepping back to a half plank or a full plank or a chaturanga. And then inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck toes, draw back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths, drawn in and out. Find your own rhythm. As you inhale, walk, run or float to the top of the mat. Make it nice as you arrive into Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, fold. Oh, let it go. Inhale, reach out and up, gather. And exhale, bring it home to the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, big stretch, lean back. Stretch your stomach. Exhale, forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhaling back, plank or chaturanga, your choice. Inhaling up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 5 deep breaths and a little Billy Joel. As you inhale, come back up to the top of the mat, heart forward. Exhale, folding. And then inhale, gathering as you rise up, finding a stretch and bringing it home into the heart center. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees and put your palms down, and let's step the left foot back. Find the base for warrior two. Cartwheel up and open. And then inhale, float up. Find the top note of warrior two, and then exhale like a feather, falling right into the base of it. Inhale, lift. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, float down, stay and breathe. And just like we were looking for equanimity before in that stretch of our legs, let's find equanimity between front and back, right and left, top and bottom. Strap the left arm, turning your right palm up. Follow your palm with your eyes, coming in toward peaceful warrior. And then feeling the need for a deeper stretch, you might even bend the right elbow and take the left hand up to the right elbow and just coach that out with the breath and the body. Remember, consideration and thoughtfulness. Take one more big breath in, opening up your arms, and as you exhale, hands reach back to the top of the mat. Stretch back to plank, half plank, or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, back down dog, 3 breaths. And then inhale, walking, running, or floating. Return to Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, big stretch. Exhale, gather right into the heart center. Second side, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, let go. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, knees bend, palms come down, right foot steps back. Find the roots of warrior two. Cartwheel up and open into an equitable place. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, floating down. Inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Now exhale, float down. Find the home base for warrior two. Yours, right now, this moment, warrior two. Mine has changed a lot over the year. Soften the right hand down. Turn the left palm up, follow it into peaceful warrior. You can stay here or you can bend the elbow and maybe coach it into a wider stretch in the left side body. Let your head press gently back into your arms if they're overhead like this. And then stretch your arms out like you're waking up. And on your exhale, hands back to the top of the mat, plank or chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths. Breath, music, energy flowing through the body. On your inhale, walk, run, or float, Ardha Uttanasana at the top of the mat. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, all the way up, big stretch. Gather. Exhale, bring it home. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, go back, plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Sweep your right foot back for a 3-legged dog. High, low, wherever that feels good to you. Exhale, fold the knee in. Step into the roots of warrior one. Hips are a little diagonal, reaching out and up. Now bring your hips up. So we've got long legs at the top. Bring your heart up. Look up. Drop the shoulders down your back, and then exhale, melt into your hips, warrior one. One more big breath in. Exhale, hands come back to the mat, flow through. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Find 3 breaths here. Sweeping through. Energy in, tension out. On your next inhale, sweeping the left leg back. Find your 3-legged dog. Exhale, fold the knee in and step into the roots of warrior one. As you come up, reach the arms out wide and then invite a lengthening in the legs. Lift your heart, it's a back bend here. Drop your shoulders heavy and then drop into your hips. One more big breath in. Exhale, hands come back to the mat. Flow through with that big open heart. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, 5 breaths. Inhale, looking up and forward, walk around or float, get into Ardha Uttanasana. Vertical shins. Exhale, pouring down, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen all the way up, stretch up, lean back, gather. Exhale, hands into the heart center, full of grace. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. This time, exhale and bend your knees, put your palms down, and take your right knee back to the floor. And then this is where you might want to bring a blanket in. I think I'm going to. So left knee forward, right knee down. Come on up into a low lunge. Hands to the thigh. Square and level your hips. Just the action alone is very subtle. And then give the right glutes a little bit of a squeeze as you lean forward into the hip crease. Nice deep breath. Reaching the right arm forward, up and back. And then again, we might bend the elbow and lean the head back into the arm. Try to gather the ribs in at the same time. And then sliding your hand to the back of your head if your arm is back there. Lift your heart. Maybe invite the left hand back there too. Hold your head. Deep breath, heart open. And then bring your hands back to the left thigh. We're going to lean up a little bit and reposition this leg out to the side. It's not going to go directly out because our bones don't work like a paper doll, but in the angle of where you can open up, externally rotating your left hip, knee over the heel, left hand to the inside of the leg just to get a nice little stretch. Feel like you're stretching from the knee to the inner groin here. And then squeezing the glutes, just kind of leaning into this little stretch. Take the right arm forward and then open it up, find that angle, and then take it up and over, leaning in toward the left leg. Deep breath, still opening the leg gently, subtly. Inhale, reach up with both hands, and then exhale, bring your hands down, bring your booty back, and bring your left knee back. And we'll just do a little cat-cow in between sides there. Follow your breath, follow your body. Coming back into neutral, tuck your toes and come back to downward facing dog for one big stretch. Inhale, shifting your gaze forward, walk over your blanket. Get to the top of your mat, Ardha Uttanasana, heart forward, shins are vertical. Exhale, pour into that base. Inhale, hinge, come all the way up, gather what you've learned. Exhale, hands into your heart center, hips hold a lot of emotions. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pour it down, Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward, exhale. Bend the knees, plant the palms, the left knee comes back to the blanket, into a low lunge. Hands up to the right thigh, squaring and leveling, and then just a little hug, a little squeezy squeeze, leaning into the hip. Deep breath. Left arm can add in a little more flavor. Bending the elbow, letting your head rest back into the arm. Take your hand behind your head. Lift your heart, lift your head and let it fall back gently into your hands. Invite the right hand to get in on that party. Deep breath, wide open. Don't forget your hips. Level and square them. All right, so this is my annual ode to gravy. And then bring your hands back to your thigh. Float up just a bit and then place the right foot out, squiggle it across. Find an external rotation, a widening, and knee over the heel. Hug the glutes in, lean in, draw it open gently, coach it, don't torture it. Deep breath. Take your arm out wide. Oh, gravy. It's like 4 hours away. I got my gravy pants on. Now take the arm up and lean over. Deep breath. And then come on back up. Bring your hands down, your booty back, and your right knee back as we come back into all fours. Maybe a little tail wagging here. And then let's tuck the toes. Go back into downward facing dog. Give it a good stretch. Give your head a little wag. Walk your hands back. Tread across that blanket, coming into a place of vertical shins, head dropping down heavy, Uttanasana. Now's a good time to fold that blanket and take it off your mat. Shimmy your shoulders. Inhale, hinging, stand up, reach out, gather. Palms together, leaning back, bring that into your heart center. We're gonna play a little bit with tree pose. So I'm gonna come to the top of my mat so I know I have room for my extremely long legs. Hands to the hips. Soften the right knee and take your right foot up into the inner left leg, top of the leg to ya. Bring your ribs in, gather everything that's here in your balance. And then you can take your arms to express your tree wherever you want, maybe out wide for balancing. Maybe if you're really working on opening your heart today, you take your hands behind for a bind, fold the shoulders back and drop the hands down. Deep breath. Now let's shape shift this. So if you're bound or your arms are away, soften them, bring them back into your heart center. Shift your right knee forward. Let your foot dangle right underneath your knee and then soften your left leg. Hands up, Karate Kid. Turn the hands down. Deep breath. And I'm going to be really kind. We're going to go back to Warrior 3 for one brilliant breath, an expression of a balance. So inhale, Warrior 3. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back to plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Walk your hands back slowly. Shins vertical, dropping in. So there's a slight bend in the knees when the shins are vertical that releases your low back. Let your head be heavy. Your arms are rivers that just drip down. Inhale, hinge the heart forward. Gather as you reach up and back. Exhale, hands into the heart center. Now, rooting into the right leg, let's find a tree, maybe walking to the center of your mat if you've got stuff behind you. And taking the left foot to the upper right thigh. Make sure the foot and the thigh gather together equally. Bringing hands in at the heart first. Maybe a little hug between the knees to get a little more there. And again, arms wide for balance, maybe up for lift and lightness, or maybe a little bind behind. All right, we got one more deep breath here, and then shape shifting, releasing our arms back toward the torso, shifting the left leg forward, dangle the left foot, soften the right knee, hands up, Karate Kid. One more deep breath in and out. As you inhale, take a warrior 3. Woo. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back to the mat and find plank or chaturanga. Inhale, I came in hot there. Exhale, back into downward facing dog or child's pose. Take some breaths in and out. Inhale, looking forward, come on down to all fours, walk your knees back, come down to your belly. Walk your legs back, back and back and back, wobbling the pelvis until you get fully extended in the low back and in the legs. Put your toes down, toenails down, and then take your hands back alongside body, putting the backs of your hands down. Roll the shoulders back, walk the hands back. Roll the shoulders back, walk the hands back into locust. Deep breath, press down to lift up. Deep breathing, stay here. And then extending the arms back and up, a little pulsing. And if you want extra points, lift your belly button off the floor and see what happens. It just tests my concentration. I don't think it does anything but pick my belly button up, so you can put it back down, or you can pretend like you put it back down because you never lifted it. Maybe the hands intertwine. You can keep pulsing or intertwining. Roll the shoulders back a little more, and then press the hands back. Maybe palms open, maybe diagonal, maybe together. Deep breath. Mind your shoulders be considerate. And then exhale, come on down, softening and letting go. Hands are going to slide under the shoulders, pressing up to all fours. And then tucking your toes, press your hands in to come into kind of an extended child's pose variation, getting a good toe stretch. Breathe into the back of your heart. That's the place where we tuck the really deep stuff. There's something to consider there, something to be grateful for that we've harbored there this year. Inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, cross your ankles, lift your feet, and then sit back and bring your legs forward. Again, I'm going to come toward the middle of the mat so I have some room to flow. Bring in the legs in front. Feet about 2 fist widths apart. Draw the right foot in for Janu Shirshasana A. Hands forward, lengthen up through the sternum. Broaden your collarbones, which releases the shoulders back. Fingertips to the floor. Exhale, hinging in. Maybe taking the hands wide. You can be static, or if you want a little exploration, be like seaweed underneath the water. I started watching that octopus teacher documentary. Be like the octopus. What haven't I watched on Netflix? Now come on up and take the left hand to the inside of the left leg. You can fist your hand to get a little more powerful leverage. If you're feeling really flexible, maybe laying the forearm down and snugging into the leg. Turn the belly button open. Take the right arm out and up. And then maybe bending the elbow and pressing the head back in toward the arm. Or you can take your hand like a catcher's mitt and hold your spine here. Nice deep breath. And then reaching your right arm up and way back on the diagonal from your hip. Point your left toes in opposition, and then let's rise onto the right shin bone and taking the left hand up toward the sky. Take it along your left ear. Maybe bend the arm, lean your head back into it, or you can use your head as a cradle in the hand, or hand in the as the cradle for the head. Deep breath. Come on down. Gracefully put the hips down and release the right leg. A little bopping of the knees doesn't hurt. And then reset. Thighs are set down, flesh back, feet about 2 fist widths apart. Left foot comes in. Settling in over the right leg. So I've had time to notice stuff this year, that my foot turns in. So I'm trying to press out equally through all 4 corners of my feet. Sometimes a block helps me make myself straight there. Hands can be wide, but lengthen your heart. Open your collarbones, and then maybe static, maybe moving. So we draw that stretch a little further up into the low back, the QLs, the penthouse of the butt. Deep breath. Find a goodness in the stretch. Inhale, come on up. And then let's find that twisty Janu here. Hand as a fist, or maybe taking the forearm down. Now my shoulder's a little different on this side, so I think I'm gonna use the arm to leverage. Turn the belly open. Take the left arm up and over the right ear. Deep breath, keep opening your heart. Bend the elbow, head reaches back into the hand. I'm thankful there are no children listening to this playlist. Hand behind the head, gently cradle your head in your hand. Deep breath, open heart. Stretch your left arm up, reach it back on a diagonal from your hip, point your right toes, goodbye block, and then onto the shin of the left leg, reach your arm up, maybe bend the elbow, head back into the arm, maybe cradling the head, deep breath. A gentle exit, bringing the left hip down, and then releasing the left leg. Bring the flesh back, and then just gently folding over the legs. Inhale, come on up. And we'll come into square pose just because we've been playing a little bit in the hips today. Left leg will be the bottom layer of this. So we can start with the shin parallel to the top of the mat, and then bringing the right leg on top, flexing the foot to help protect the knee. Now, my hip is hella tight, so I'm bringing a block in front and just kind of propping up my shin there. And I can find my variation, my square. And then hands either behind to lift up and hinge forward. Get the right amount of stretch in the right hip. Or if you're feeling pretty stretchy, hands might come forward. You might even bring palms together, thumbs to the third eye, and bow into your legs, or putting your forearms there. So fashion yourself in square pose on this side. Mind with consideration what is here today. Inhale, come on up, and then exhale, release that. Take your legs out, bounce a little bit, and then we'll try that on the other side. Now, the right leg is the base model here. And you might widen your knees, you might bring your knees in a little more square with your hips. Find what works in your body. Flexing the left foot and stacking it, left over right. Maybe the block trick. Maybe some support underneath the knee. Just find a way to meet yourself where you are here. Lengthening up and hinging forward. Find where the stretch is and then support yourself in that stretch. Breathing with consideration. For about 6 more breaths. Inhale, come on up. And as you exhale, gently dismantle that pose that we were just in. Now, I want us to spend a little bit of time upside down before we go into our restorative pose. And I'm going to suggest legs up the wall if you have a wall, or maybe furniture that you could put your legs up on, just to get a reversal of energy and circulation in a gentle, supported way. Shoulder stand. You can do the full-on shoulder stand, or maybe the one with the block underneath the sacrum to lift the legs up a little higher without much pressure into the neck. I do love this. And headstand is another option. So I encourage you to practice in the appropriateness of where your body is today and where your practice is. We're going to take to the end of this Jackson Browne song, and I'll use the timing of where I'm hearing it, and I'll call you back when it's time for us to reset and get into our restorative position. Lots of inversions on the inversion buffet today. Even down dog or prasarita are great inversions if you want to change up the flow of things. Check in with your breath. And feel the body and the breath meeting in this particular position, and feel yourself in there. You're the observer. But that's your arm, that's your leg, that's your spine, that's your skull. And everything else contained within there, which is a conglomeration of energy and emotions and thoughts too. Now let's think about transitioning out of this inversion so we could move into a counterbalancing Matsyasana, and then we'll set ourselves up in a really delightful place. So from wherever you are, come back to the center of your mat, and with your knees up and your feet hip distance apart, slowly roll down. Feel the arrival of your spine, one vertebra at a time. Support yourself in that endeavor. And once your head gets down on the mat, tuck the shoulders down, press your feet in, put them right in front of your sit bones, and lift up and place your hands palms down, thumbs and index fingers, making a diamond to set your sacrum into, and then lengthen your legs down in the swim lanes. Draw them in a little closer, connect the inner corners, point your toes, and then imagine that somebody's holding your toes and drawing them forward, bringing you up so you're on your forearms. Walk your forearms in toward each other so the elbows are starting to align with the sides of your waist. Lift your heart. Drop your head back, and then maybe slide back ever so slightly to let your head suspend back toward the floor. It may or may not touch, but just feel a little freedom there. Try to soften your jaw. Breathe. Feel your heart, and empty your heart with breath here. Full of grace. And then lift your heart on an inhale. Slide your toes forward, and then bring your chin to your chest. Widen your elbows, and then lower back down, bringing your shoulder blades and your skull down. Free your arms, wobble your hips a little bit, and then bring your knees into your chest, crossing the ankles, wrapping your arms around, bringing your nose up toward your knees. Just stretch your spine from top to bottom. Roll over to your side, and then prop your way back up to seated. And now we will gather all the soft stuff and make ourselves a little restorative pose, cocoon. I'm going to suggest Mountain Brook, which is kind of like gravy over a mound of mashed potatoes and stuffing. So I'm bringing the bolster in across my mat. You could do this with some pillows off of a couch. In fact, I'm going to grab a pillow off of my couch. And I think I'll switch this out. Putting this across. Now, depending on the loft of your pillow, you may need something to support your head. So I'm going to put my little meditation cushion there, and then my bolster under my knees. And when I put the bolster under my knees, there are a couple of options here. You can put the bolster under your knees in the wide sense, and maybe even put a block underneath the closer end of the bolster. But with my really tight hips, I really love putting it up on its side and letting it snug up under my knees. As I come back, I'm just going to fine tune, bring the props in to meet me where I am. Make sure the head is supported, but your nose and chin are directly up toward the ceiling. Fuss with this, get it just right. Nose and chin directly up so your neck is completely relaxed and neutral. And then maybe a blanket over you, or I kind of like a folded blanket right across the base of my belly and my hip crease, because this is the root chakra. And when we open ourselves up to grace, when we open ourselves up to the things that have been challenging, it may make us feel anxious. So this helps us feel safe and protected in being open. Put your arms out near you or away from you, wherever that feels good, with palms up. So we're receptive. We're not guarding ourselves from being in this moment. And then take a couple of deep breaths to sweep through and let go of being anywhere else but here. I've curated a couple of songs that I want us to hear, to be open to the words here. So just linger in this for a moment or so. I'll come back and get you in a few minutes. If you get caught up in thoughts that make you tense, just find your breath and come back to that, and remember that we're welcoming everything. We don't have to guard or fight anything. resting place. I don't know who wrote this, but I read it every year, and I think this year in particular it means something even deeper. It's called Be Thankful. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you the opportunity to learn. Be thankful for the difficult times. During those times, you grow. Be thankful for your limitations, because they give you opportunities for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge, because it will build your strength and character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They will teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary, because it means you made a difference. It's easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who are also thankful for the setbacks. And maybe we'll look at 2020 as a year of setbacks, but maybe we'll see it as a year of growth and a year of learning. I want you to deepen your breath and stretch into your body, reacquaint yourself with the edges, and when you're ready to come back up and have a seat, roll gently to one side. Let your head be heavy enough so it's the last thing that you can stack up on your spine once you're back upright. Find an easy, comfortable, workable seat. I have lots of Thanksgiving traditions, and some of them I've gathered recently in the past several years, but this one is probably the most meaningful. My friend Arthur had ALS, and he fought it, and he was so strong and brave, and he meditated every day, and he formed a pickle company, and he sold pickles from his grandmother's recipe, and he sent all the money from his pickles into ALS research. And he's probably the strongest human being I've ever met. I met him in college, and he was the coolest guy, and he was cool right up to the end. But he said this on his last Thanksgiving, and I think it's something that we need to hear and we need to do. He said, number 1, eat. Have a second or third helping. Try 2 desserts. Be thankful for your stomach ache, and belch out loud. So I charge you all to belch out loud today. Number 2, talk. He said, the art of conversation is dying. He said, put your cell phone down. We have to make an exception this year because we're probably Zooming family in. I know I am. But he said, tell stories, share moments, no politics. And number 3, walk, burn calories, talk some more or reflect. He said, happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you have. And we have a lot of grace to be thankful for. So let's share that with the dedication of merit. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be parted from freedom's true joy. And may all beings dwell in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Thank you all for gathering some grace with me this morning. It's so good to see your faces, and I miss you. If I haven't seen you in a long time, let's catch up soon. Namaste. I am grateful that you're all here practicing today. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I will hope to see you soon. Peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Happy Thanksgiving.